Key areas impacted by external economy are skill, industry reputation. The reputation of an industry or a region as a hub for a particular product or service can attract customers, investors, and other stakeholders. This positive industry image can create a virtuous cycle, further attracting resources, talent, and investment, which ultimately benefits all firms operating within that industry. Industry reputation is also one of the key areas impacted by external economy or scale. The reputation of an industry or region as a hub for a particular product or service can attract customers, investors, and other stakeholders. This positive industry image can create a virtuous cycle, further attracting resources, talent, and investment, which ultimately benefits all firms operating within that industry. These economies of scale. These economies of scale refer to the situation where a company cost per unit increases as its production levels or organizational size grows beyond a certain point. These economies of scale refer to the situation where a company cost per unit increases as its production level or organizational size grows beyond a certain point. While economies of scale occur when unit costs decrease with increased production, this economy of scale represents the opposite effect. This economy of scale are not inevitable for all companies. Some organizations manage to overcome these challenges through effective management practice, recognizing the potential risks, streamline processes, focus on innovation and adaptability. Factors contributing to this economy of scale increase complexity, coordination and control issue, bureaucracy, inefficient communication, lack of flexibility. Increased complexity. The complexity of managing various department process and activities increase as a company expands its operation and production. The complexity of managing various departments, process, and activities increase as a company expands its operations and production. Complexity can lead to communication breakdowns, coordination challenges, and inefficiency, resulting in higher costs. Coordination and control issue. It becomes more challenging to coordinate and control different functions and processes effectively with a larger organizational size. It becomes more challenging to coordinate and control different functions and processes effectively with a larger organizational size. Decision making may become slower, and it can be difficult to maintain consistency and quality standards across the entire organization. It becomes more challenging to coordinate and control different functions and processes effectively with a larger organization size. Decision making may become slower, and it can be difficult to maintain consistency and quality standards across the entire organization. Bureaucracy. As companies grow, they often need to implement more layers of management and organizational hierarchy to manage the increased workload. This can result in increased bureaucracy with more rules, regulations, and procedures to follow. Bureaucratic structures can slow down decision making, hinder innovation, and lead to higher administrative costs. Inefficient communication. Communication becomes more difficult and time-consuming in larger organizations. Information may not flow smoothly between different departments or production units, leading to delays, misunderstandings, and errors. Inefficient communication can impact productivity and increase costs. Inefficient communication can impact productivity and increase costs. Inefficient communication can impact productivity and increase costs. Inefficient communication. Factors and then lack of flexibility. Large organizations often find it challenging to adapt quickly to changing market conditions or customer preference. Decision-making process can be slow, and the organization may be resistant to change. This lack of flexibility can result in missed opportunities and increased costs. Ways to measure size of firms. There are several measurements that provide insights into skill, capacity, and efficiency of company operation. The measure may not be universally applicable to all industries. The most appropriate measurement method depends on the specific characteristic and objective of the industry being analyzed. Combining multiple measures can provide more comprehensive understanding of firm size and operation. Revenue, employment, value added, physical assets, production capacity, sales volume, market capitalization, market share, revenue, employment, value added. Revenue. One of the most straightforward ways to measure the size of a firm is by looking at its annual revenue. This metric indicates the total sales generated by the company in a given period. Generally, higher revenue implies a larger firm as it reflects the scale of its operations and market presence. Higher revenue implies a larger firm as it reflects the scale of its operations and market presence. Higher revenue implies a larger firm as it reflects the scale of its operations and market presence. Higher revenue implies larger firm. Employment. The number of employees in a firm can also serve as an indication of its size. Larger firms typically employ a greater number of workers across various functions and departments. Employee count provides a rough estimate of the organization's scale and complexity, although it may not capture factors like automation or outsourced labor. Value added. Value added measures the increase in value a firm creates during the production process. It's calculated by subtracting the cost of intermediate inputs from the total sales revenue. Higher value added generally indicates a larger firm with more significant contributions to the overall value chain. Higher value added generally indicates larger firm with more significant contributions to the overall value chain. Physical assets. Another approach to measuring firm size is considering the value or quantity of physical assets owned by the company. This includes facilities, machinery, equipment, and inventory. Companies with larger physical assets generally have more extensive production capabilities and resources. Sales production capacity. Measuring a firm size can involve assessing its production capacity, which refers to the maximum output it can generate within a given time frame. This can be measured in terms of units produced, hours of operation, or other relevant measures. Higher production capacity often corresponds to a larger firm with greater operational capabilities. Sales volume. Sales volume represents the total quantity or units of products or services sold by a firm within a specific period. Sales volume represents the total quantity or units of